Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. With that being said, I hope that you're all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So there was a recent post that came up on my timeline from XRP Drops, and this is regarding Medico and DZ Bank. Specifically DZ Bank Custody did go live in November, actually, and then also the Medico Harmonized platform, which is the infrastructure for institutions that we've been addressing. And we have, as announced in February of 2023, Medico Harmonized was the chosen infrastructure platform to bring DZ Bank's vision to life. In less than 9 months, DZ Bank made the groundbreaking announcements of the go live of its commercial digital asset custody offering for institutions on November 2nd of last year. In a first step, DZ Bank is now able to settle and hold crypto securities as regulated under German Electronic Securities Act. One of the first use cases was to transfer the Siemens tokenized bond into its own custody solution. In order to offer custody services on its platform also for cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin in the future, DZ Bank applied for a crypto custody license from the German Federal Financial Supervisory Authority, or BaFin, in June of 2023. Now, why is this significant today? Well, let's go over to this announcement. So we have just in custody case study, Medico and DZ Bank. DZ Bank is the largest German depository bank with a volume of 300 million assets on the depository beginning of 2023. We then decided that we should best work together with Medico Harmonize. We aim to find a solution that is as best integrated in existing capital markets processes to make it as efficient as possible, Ripple. 10 months after implementation, DZ Bank could go live with the custody solution based on what Medico is offering. Distributed ledger as well as existing markets business will coexist the next few decades. Check this out. Also, I do apologize if YouTube does mute this video, because I know that they've been very annoying with videos played on X. I do apologize for it if they do.
DZ Bank is quite happy, and we're a bit proud that we're one of the first banks in Germany which
Next decade. Now, outside of this, right, because this is a huge deal. I mean, DZ Bank is one of the largest banks out there. Over here we have a new announcement, and this happened on March 6th, actually, of 2024. We have DZ Bank has partnered with Stuttgart to provide crypto services for more than 700 German cooperative banks. So this is a major expansion on DZ Bank's part. And remember, right, like they're tapped in with Medico, and their core focus in this video was transacting, right? transacting, being able to transact and administer wallets, all within the key infrastructure. And who is going to provide that? Well, it's on blockchain-based technology. And we do know from a recent report from Grayscale that these traditional financial giants, they're no longer working in the realm of private ledger technology. No, they want to tap into public ledger technology because they know for a fact that it is working, it's efficient, and you can't have those closed doors. Remember, it's all about getting over those walled gardens, not being inside of them. So this is a huge move that could very well blossom into the Ripple ecosystem of XRP and the XRP ledger. Now, outside of this, we also have over here, Ripple partner DZ Bank partners with Boris Stuttgart for crypto solution for German cooperative banks. Bloomberg reported that the bank plans to start piloting a retail crypto service for its community bank partners. And this is the big news, right? Being able to have expansion and exposure to retail-driven services through the bank itself. Why is this a big deal? Well, majority of the public does not want to invest into crypto, utilize crypto, touch crypto, because they think that it's not trustworthy. It's not, they think of it as a scam, basically. But if a bank is offering these services to the retail clientele, well, guess what? Now things change. Now it's trustworthy. They could trust it because the bank is offering it. That's what majority of the public looks at. But we have DZ Bank launched its own institutional digital asset custody solution late last year. It involves a collaboration with Ripple-owned technology firm Medico. Very interesting. Now, over here we have Basel Committee report released showing that U.S. American banks are absent from crypto custody due to SAB 121 by the SEC. And big shout out to Chad Steingraber for this, because just like this is saying, right, we are now starting to see banks focusing on crypto, and now we look at crypto custody. We have this rolling. Once overturned, will usher in a bank run on crypto assets to custody for clients. And yes, this will lead to major banking clients. And I'm talking about, like, we're addressing millions, potentially even billions of individuals that could very well be exposed through their banking app within crypto. Think about how massive this is. And remember, the big players to really see a big inflow is the custody solutions. Medico is a big player here because Medico is catering to these major banks by providing the best-in-class technology for custody solutions. Now, if we're going to look at Basel, and if we're looking at this report from them, right, this is the Basel Committee, it's now looking like we could very well be closer and closer to having banks starting to custody crypto and provide crypto assets and services to clients. This will usher in a bank run through the retail sector, jumping into the banking app and tapping into crypto. This is a big deal. And we even have that today, the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, BCBS, published the latest Basel III monitoring report, which gathered data on 177 banks globally. Just 28 banks disclosed crypto asset exposures for the 6 months to June 30th, 2023. Digital asset custody figures rose 79% to 4.4 billion euros across all banks. However, comparatives may not be reliable. American banks are largely absent from the custody sector, with just 11 million euros under custody across 11 banks. This can be primarily attributed to the SEC accounting rule SAB 121 that makes it prohibitive for U.S. banks to provide digital asset custody. And guess what? That means that the next major step is custody through major banks. Imagine a very large percentage of supplies being locked up in major banks. This would be insane, to say the least. Now, do I think that that is a good thing? No, I don't, especially for the macro. Do I think that this is going to be great for, prices and things like that? Sure, it could be. But this is about looking at banks becoming the major custodian leaders. I don't want that. In fact, that's why I look at a player like Medico working with these major banks. And the way that I foresee it is Medico will custody these assets for banks, and banks will tap into those custody solutions like Medico for crypto and also, crypto services, which, again, if you go and look at Medico, they offer an all-in-one platform around, transacting within crypto, tokenizing within crypto, things like that. Now, also over here, we have from XRP Drops, the new Ripple article emphasizes the that do SAB 121, many institutions are not currently able to provide scalable digital asset custody services for Bitcoin ETFs. Best custody solution is Ripple's Swiss-based company, Medico. And yes, as we really look at Medico, it is the key piece for this. Over here, we have using an enterprise-grade digital asset custody provider is crucial for ensuring the safety, security, and accessibility of cryptocurrencies and tokenized assets. Now, this is the report that XRP Drops is using here. Now, I copied all of this, and I really wanted to summarize all of this into one little section, and I utilized ChatGPT for this. And we have on January 10th, 2024, the SEC approved 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs. These are those proposals that obviously marked a significant moment in financial history. These ETFs, including those from BlackRock, Fidelity, and VanEck, provide accessibility to both retail and institutional investors, accelerating Bitcoin's integration into traditional financial markets. A spot Bitcoin ETF directly owns Bitcoin, contrasting with previous futures-based ETFs. Custody of assets is a critical concern, especially given the unique challenges posed by digital assets. Currently, a few qualified custodians, such as Coinbase and BitGo, handle institutional Bitcoins. However, traditional banks face limitations in offering custody solutions or services due to regulatory constraints like SAB 121. Secure custody is vital for spot ETFs, necessitating advanced storage solutions such as cold storage and multi-signature wallets to protect against cyber threats. Custodians must balance security with accessibility for investors while adhering to regulatory requirements like KYC and AML. Factors like security measures, technological infrastructure, regulatory compliance, and risk management are crucial considerations for selecting a custodian. These custodians will play a central role in facilitating regulated access to digital assets as their adoption grows. Overall, the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs signifies a new chapter in the integration of traditional finance and digital assets. As financial institutions adapt to this evolving landscape, understanding how to support and develop business models around this asset class becomes paramount. Now, what's interesting about this is all regarding custody, though, for Bitcoin ETFs. And the question is Medico about to be the key leader to custody these Bitcoin ETFs? It's questionable, right? But we already know that IBIT as well as even Grayscale hold well over, it's like a massive amount of Bitcoin in those ETFs. I think it's well over like 270,000 Bitcoin or something like that. It's a pretty crazy amount. I think that as we start to see the space evolve more and more, I do think that these companies like Medico will be tapped in through major banks that will be the custodian leaders around specific things like ETFs and whatnot. But it's very interesting that this is coming out in terms of this report, because what we are starting to see outside of like the ETF nonsense is tokenization, right? Like tokenization is the big thing. That's what I'm mainly focused on, is just like tokenization, because these ETFs for Bitcoin, it's great. It's a big deal, sure. But what about trillions, right? Because we're still talking about billions when it comes to Bitcoin. Trillions will be unlocked through tokenization. How is all of that going to be stored? How is all that going to trade? Well, it's going to be through these custodian services. And that's where Medico really kind of comes into play. In fact, Medico put out a great DLT from pilots and proof of concepts to useful applications, and this is DLT in the real world. Now, under here, we have how, when, and where DLT and financial services converge. Across capital markets, DLT may be the future-proofing mechanism that offers security, efficiency, and liquidity, but in many cases, fully realizing these benefits necessitates technical disruption. As DLT pushes past pilots and proof of concepts to what are now considered useful off-the-shelf applications, we can expect to see broader stakeholder buy-in to invest in the next iteration of the financial services ecosystem. Medico's latest white paper tracks the evolution of DLT and digital assets, including their impact on capital markets across collateralization, tokenization of real-world assets, and beyond. And yeah, this is the big step, tokenization. And we have over here conclusion, welcoming the future of digital assets and DLT. And let me zoom in just so that you guys can see this. So while use cases and timeframes differ, respondents generally agree on one thing: DLT and blockchain technology are fundamentally useful. Perhaps more so than in 2022, institutions are exercising caution, but the pace and maturity of live projects, coupled with the willingness to preserve through crypto uncertainty. Perhaps more so than in 2022, institutions are exercising caution, but the pace and maturity of live projects coupled with the willingness to persevere through crypto uncertainty, prove firms' convictions. We believe this is the right perspective as DLT is likely to transform capital markets sooner rather than later. We see it every day in our role helping financial institutions scale new business models in the digital asset economy. Few believe that legacy financial markets should remain in status quo, relying on an infrastructure designed nearly half a century ago in terms of security, stability, versatility, liquidity. DLT offers hope. Trillions of dollars from currencies and capital markets to private assets and real estate will be represented on distributed ledgers. According to the latest industry forecast, don't let the future pass you by. Medico helps the world's largest global custodians, banks, regulated exchanges, and corporates build their digital asset operations. And this is the key thing to focus on. Because even if Medico is not the one that is custodying crypto, Bitcoin ETFs, whatever, think about it like this. Medico is still tapped in terms of the settlement engine here. Considering the fact that Ripple bought them up, the settlement engine could very well still be with XRP and the XRP ledger. I've talked about this on multiple occasions. Yeah, you hear all these reports. Oh, on-demand liquidity, it's only utilized, USDT now. They stopped XRP. Guys, think about the regulatory uncertainty right now. Once we're over that regulatory, obstacle, there's no stopping this. Think about how big of an opportunity this is. When you look at Harmonize, this is based around everything: issue, store, trade, transfer, settle, and service any type of digital asset. You have everything under one umbrella: custody, trading, Web3, governance, orchestration, tokenization, integration, security, everything. This is that all-in-one platform infrastructure that institutions can tap into and provide any service of any choice to any client that they need and want. And over here, we have that Medico's already working with the world's largest global custodians. That means that these custodians, like for an example, let's go back over to the report from the Basel Committee. Like these major banks, they're no longer right now currently the big players, because again, this is halting them from being able to offer these services and even custody crypto assets. But once they do, guess who they're going to probably work with? Well, there's Fireblocks, there's a few other players, but Medico offers the best-in-class technology. And remember, in terms of tokenization, if we're going to start to see trillions and trillions of dollars represented on-chain through tokenized assets, how are you going to trade all of that? How are you going to, make sure that everything is moving in a very swift manner? Well, you look at what Medico is offering. And remember, this is all because of what Ripple is providing with Medico. This is that all-in-one package. The way that I foresee this, the way that I see all of this coming together is, first off, everything's moving extremely fast. Like, we're now starting to see rapid developments around institutions, around institutional use cases within crypto. We're now starting to see regulatory uncertainty really kind of fading. We're starting to now witness some moves being made on the regulatory side of things. But the way that I foresee this is that all of these big players out there, all these major banks that are going to start custodying crypto, they still need that underlying platform. Medico right now offers the best in class, and they already have some of the largest players tapped in. I don't think that I need to mention, BNP Paribas, Citi, Forge, Deca, DZ Bank, and these are just a few of the names. If you actually look at some of the global custodians, I think that they mention a few of them over here. So like here's Citi. I thought that they mentioned a whole bunch of names here. I know that Forge is on here, BNP Paribas, Deca, and stuff like that. But there's other ones as well, like Zodiac Custody with Standard Chartered. These are just a few. I mean, if you actually look at their blog posts and go back in time, you guys are more than welcome to. There's a lot of major banks already tapped in with Medico. They're already working with the largest names out there. And think about it, right? If they're already tapped in with all these major players already, imagine what happens next when we finally get the green light. And all of these major banks are now jumping in. They're looking at offering services. They need a custodian player, or even, tapping in with Medico, because all these global custodians, this is the infrastructure of their choice so far. What do you think happens with Medico? What do you think happens with Ripple? And what do you think happens through the XRP ledger with XRP? Because that's also exposed through all of this. And we know that because we've broken it down in the past with Medico. So what do you think happens? it is going to be a major opportunity to really witness something extremely special, like trillions and trillions of dollars flowing on chain. And I do think that XRP and the XRPL will really kind of target a specific percentage of that market. And that specific percentage, I don't think is going to be small at all. And I say this because we're already starting to witness major moves being made towards that goal. I mean, we're now starting to see major banks partnering, expanding, and they're already tapped in with Medico, and they already are seeing these major solutions that are integrated throughout the entire infrastructure in terms of Medico with Ripple. And we already look at distributed ledger technology, DLT. The underlying DLT of choice with Ripple is the XRP ledger and XRP. And we already know that a lot of major things in terms of the amendments on the XRP ledger to offer institutional DeFi initiatives and services, that's already in place. Things are moving rapidly. If you're not focused up, if you're not paying attention, you're falling behind. Major moves are being made, and I get it, right? We're all looking at price, but I'm telling you, the obstacle in the way right now is regulations. Once we're out of the regulatory uncertainty aspect, these utility projects will truly show you their real value. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys more free content. You guys more than follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.